Hey guys, what's up? Today we're not talking about this gun, we're talking about this guy right here. This is a magnifier from Feagle. Feagle, F-E-A-G-L-E, Feagle. Let's look at it. Alright, so, sorry, that was fiasco. I thought this was from another company, but this is apparently the brand named Feagle, F-E-A-G-L-E. So, this is a magnifier. This is not an optic, right? There's no batteries or reticles or anything in here. This is literally just a magnifier, but it comes on a nice little system that you can swing in and out and get it out of the way. If you're into that kind of thing, which makes sense if you got a red dot, not a magnified optic, but a red dot that you use generally for closer distance stuff, right? But then sometimes maybe even you're zeroing your gun and you want to zoom in a little bit. You can use these kind of things to zoom in a little bit and kind of see maybe where your shots are going if you're zeroing your rifle, or maybe you're hunting or whatever. Or there's a lot of uses. You just want to see more. You want to identify more and be able to pull that information in closer, which is basically what magnification does. Pulls that stuff in closer for you to take a look at, all right? So, I already kind of started jumping into this, but let me backpedal a little bit and let you know straight up, this magnification device was sent to me to look at and make these videos and stuff, all right? I didn't pay for this. I'm looking right here. I have an Amazon link, and it says it's unavailable as of right now, and it doesn't even have a price on it. So, I don't know how much this thing costs. And that's not what we're talking about so much. We're just talking about the device and what I think about it and just some overall stuff. I literally just got this out of the box a couple days ago. I haven't really been able to use it. I plugged it onto this gun. Plugged it on. That's a real good technical term for you there. I installed it, mounted it, whatever, onto this firearm. But I haven't shot it. I haven't done anything with it yet. So my real thoughts on this, I don't have a whole lot of like deep, use with this, right? So take what I say with a grain of salt if you have to, because it was given to me. Also take what I say with a grain of salt because I haven't employed it. I haven't used it a whole lot yet. I've just kind of looked at it, all right? So talking about some main features, the main things you would probably want to know about this, it is a 3x magnification, so it's not like one of those 5x magnifiers or even a simple, 1 or 2. It's a 3x, which is pretty common. A 3x magnifier is pretty common for a red dot. If you're going to go beyond 3x magnification, you probably are looking at a low power variable optic, one of those weird looking scope things. That's probably what you're going for, but it's a 3 power. It has a 7-degree field of view. The objective length is 21 millimeter. The pupil, or the eye pupil, this piece back here, 7 millimeters, what it says. Eye relief is 62 millimeters. You're going to have to convert all that to inches. I don't do millimeters. You can tell this where this was made. It's not made in the United States. I'll tell you that right now. Diopter range is plus or minus 3. Its weight is 10.5 ounces. At least they do ounces. There you go, 10.5 ounces. Its length is 2.85 inches or 72 millimeters. All right, that's the main information you need to know. I will try, if I can, to post this Amazon link down below, and you can basically go in here and read all this stuff off. But in essence, I just kind of have it mounted hand tight on here. Put this guy down out of the way. But how this thing comes is it doesn't come mounted to this mount. It doesn't come mounted on the mount. That makes sense. It has 2 screws right here. Let's go ahead and take these things off. It comes with everything you need to do with all this stuff, right? Again, sorry, not proper English. You do with all this stuff. Wow. I don't remember. No, I did. I Loctited it. There you go. Kudos to me. I Loctited it. It's a little squeaky. Yeah, that's how you know it's got Loctite on it. It does not come installed, and it does not come with Loctite. Anything you're going to use, this is my advice. Anything you're ever going to use for like real stuff, real guns and things, if it has screws, unless it says not to, then you probably need to Loctite those things, or else you're going to, well, they're going to fall off. They're not going to work very well. But this is how it comes. This is the unit by itself. And honestly, if you just wanted a simple 3-power magnification device, you could throw this in your pocket. It doesn't come with any lens covers or anything, but you could throw this in your pocket, and if you just wanted a simple 3-power magnification device, there you go. This could easily slip in your pocket and just help you. I could honestly see using something like this doing small game hunting. Because if you're small game hunting, where I small game hunt, you're pretty close to stuff anyway, right? You don't need to be observing out to hundreds of yards. So honestly, having something like this just to like look up in a tree, right? Look around for rabbits, grouse, squirrels, things like that. I honestly might actually do that. This might be what this guy's niche is for me, because it's not a battery powered anything. It's just a simple magnification device. I never thought about that till just now, so there you go. That's something this might actually get used for. But it has 2 big screws down here on the bottom and like a indexing slot kind of deal. That coincides with the mount that's on this little swivel mount, and depending on the size or the height of the optic you're trying to magnify, it comes with a riser. This is a simple little riser. It only looks like it rises about 1/4, maybe, I don't know what that is, 1/4, 1/8 of an inch, something. Oh, here, I got calipers. Imagine that. All right, so zero this guy out. 2.88 millimeters or 0.11 inches. There you go. That's the information. So that's what it rises it to, or you get an additional rise. So you can place that on the mount. That's how I need to run it on mine. And everything kind of goes in there like so. If you're actually going to use it, you would need to put some Loctite. I'm not going to do that right now because this is going to be taken off and modulated and done a whole bunch of stuff with. But let's get this guy started. All right, and we'll take the other screw. It comes with 3 sets of screws. Why does it come with 3 sets of screws? So it comes with, oh, no. It comes with 2 sets of screws, short and long, depending on if you use the riser or not, and then 1 extra short and 1 not like excessively short, but an extra short screw and an extra long screw. I hope that came out correctly. Goodness gravy. All right, so anyway, we're gonna screw these guys in, and kudos to them. These are some hefty big screws. They could have gone super uber duper cheap and given you some teeny tiny screws that are gonna fall off. Kudos to them. They could have done that, but they didn't. So nice. I like that. I would rather have these bigger fat screws because I feel like they would withstand better under recoil and stuff. So for this particular gun, this is not sighted in now. I've taken the optic off. I had to move the optic forward. All right. I don't want to take the rear sights off, but for me, for the eye relief that I would need to take that rear sight off. And just for hand tight right now, this just has a simple, it's a simple like a thumb screw thing right here that you can screw out, and you could really screw it down pretty tight if you needed to. You know, use a, what would my dad call them, a Chinese you fit them all, one of these guys, right? You could use one of these. I mean, be really careful if you use a wrench this big on that screw. You could easily over tighten it and strip it out. You don't want to do that. So for my purposes today, I'm just going to hand tight this guy, get it mounted up as close as I can. And anytime you're mounting optic things to a rifle or a firearm, something that moves under reciprocation, whatever fancy word you want to use, if you have it in a Picatinny mount slot, you want to push it forward into that slot. If it's to the rear of that slot and you lock it down, then when you shoot the gun or the thing cycles and moves and has impact, right? It's going to push that device optic thing that you installed. The inertia is going to push that thing forward. So if you already push forward when you mount these things, you're going to keep your zero a lot better. It's just going to hold up a lot better and not move around on you a whole lot. All right. So that's just a little tidbit for you there. You have this button plunger looking thing on the side. You push that little plunger thing. You can flip your magnifier over. For me, I have to get pretty close to this guy to use it because, like, for real, if I was going to put this on this gun, I would take this rear sight off and just move everything back because I need to be pretty dang close. And if I get this close, which isn't that bad, I mean, that's what they're talking about their eye relief, is it's decent. It's better than an ACOG. ACOGs, you got to be like an inch away. This one, you got some room, but even if I have a regular hold on the gun, I can still look through the optic and just see see what I need to see. It's not something that would be super quick, right? It's not something you just snap up there because you kind of have to fish for it a little bit. But the idea of a magnification is you're not shooting at something in general, you're not going to be shooting at something that's like right up in your face, right? It's going to be a little bit further away. So if it's further away, you probably have more time to identify it, which is probably why you're using a magnifier. So I know it probably will not show up. These things never show up on video. But if I hold this up here and not point the gun at myself, there you go. Okay. Oh. Well, you kind of can see it. I could see some red things in there sometimes, but you can kind of see it, right? Probably not. You probably can't see it. But that is that's this guy. And something that you can do, a couple little features that they built into this, which is nice, is you can adjust the focus, right? So this actually, I mean, I was able to do this. Depending on how your eyes are, because everybody's eyes are different. Some people wear glasses, some people don't. Some people don't wear glasses that should wear glasses. Won't get into that. But you have an adjustment back here to tune this magnifier to your eye. It's Very nice. So keep that in mind, that if you set this up for you and you go hand it off to a buddy, well, that your buddy's eyes are going to be different than yours, so he might see the reticle a little bit fuzzy, a little bit different than how you would see it. So if he goes fiddling with it and gives it back to you, check that focus and make sure it's back where it needs to be. Also, you see these things that look like your elevation and windage adjustments, which is exactly what they are. And you might ask yourself, I thought this wasn't an optic. I thought this didn't have a reticle in it. No, it doesn't have a reticle, but it adjusts the inside tube, right? It adjusts the magnifier to basically center up the optic reticle in your field of view. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Because sometimes, depending on how these are set up and how your optic is set up, you could be looking through your magnifier, right? You're looking through your magnifier and your optic or your reticle is over here on the side. Well, you want that reticle to be right in the middle. So that's where you can use these guys. It's not going to change your zero. You're not zeroing the gun. You're basically centering the reticle inside of your field of view. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. You're not zeroing it, so you still zero off the optic. The optic, you need to zero the optic. But once it's zeroed, you want to center that reticle that you see, the red thing or green thing, whatever color you got. You want to center that in the magnifier, and you do that by adjusting these, the windage and elevations, technically there are terms for them. You want to center it with those. And that's not going to change your zero, that's just going to put the reticle in the center of your field of view. Does that make sense? Hope that makes sense. Hope I didn't confuse you. So, that's my first initial thoughts, which are basically, this may end up being a handheld unit for me. I may end up doing that. Or, I'm trying to think. My .22 rifle already has a scope on it, and it doesn't need a magnifier. I might end up putting this on a real gun. I might shoot it like this. Next time I go out, I might take off this rear sight and move everything back so I can properly shoot it. It would make sense to use this and kind of play around with it. It's better quality than some of the other cheaper ones that I have had out here. There's not a whole bunch of extra muss and fuss about it. I like the simplicity of it, because a lot of times the more simple something is, the harder it is for it to break, because there's less things to go wrong. I do like that. I like the big fat screws that they use. I'll need to put some Loctite on there, and I recommend getting some kind of a paint pen, a white pen, a silver Sharpie or something, and marking your screws to be able to look at every now and then and see if they've started to back out or not. I recommend doing that. It's probably something I will do. But in general, I like how this thing is built. I do. And I have about 15 minutes of use with it. So I can't give long-term like, yeah, this handles this recoil and that. I don't know. I haven't even dropped it yet, right? This thing's basically brand new. I hadn't got any scratches on it. So, all that being said, if you have questions, maybe by the time I've posted this video and you've asked your question, by then hopefully I will have been able to have gone out and use this. And if that is the case, then hopefully I will be able to answer any questions maybe that you might have for it. And if you don't, or if I don't have the answer for your question, I'll try to point you in the right direction or look up the answer for you if I can. But in general, if I can, I will post this this Amazon link down in this video in the description somewhere. And if you want to look at it, go look at it, and your answers will probably be in there. If it's a spec question, it's probably going to be down there. If any of you guys have one of these already, I'd love to hear back from you guys if you've got the stuff that I've reviewed and looked at and things, and get your opinion on it, right? Because the more people's opinions, or not so much opinions, but personal testimony of the stuff that they've had, the more independent study, there you go, the more independent study, research, whatever, that we get from these things, the more informed people can be out there. The more informed people can be. That made so much sense. I'm done. Y'all be good, you be safe. Appreciate you watching, subscribing, and everything. Thank you. Make sure I say this right. Feagle, F-E-A-G-L-E. I think that's how you say it. Thank you guys for sending this thing out. I appreciate it. Hopefully we'll catch you guys in the next video. See you.